So I've been out of school for many years now, but there is nothing better than getting a passing grade on a test you're a little bit nervous about. That's kind of what it feels like when you have a modified car and it's time for your state inspection, but I got a pass. So Supra has passed inspection for its first inspection actually. I've now owned this a year, so my registration came up, and of course I need to get a state inspection for North Carolina. I have all my information I need to pay the property taxes, registration, all that crap for. And today's video we're going to kind of talk about what it costs to do all that and being a modified car, any hoops I have to jump through. And then along with that we're going to talk about warranties, because I get a ton of comments of people asking about warranties with a modified car. And with modifications, the biggest mod is this car is full bolt-ons and tuned, straight piped exhaust system. So we have no cats or nothing like that, tuned up to a lot of power, which makes a lot of noise, and I will demonstrate that noise right now. We got some tunnels, of course, we're gonna go into, but yeah, let's just hit these tunnels real quick because it's always a fun time. Gosh, that sounds epic. So we got the full exhaust, the tune, the intake. The intake is why you hear so much of the turbo noises. I've seen a lot of comments asking why my turbo sounds so loud. It's because of that air intake. The MSD intake is awesome. I love it so much. But then with the downpipe as well, that has added a lot of turbo sounds. And the tune itself makes the turbo spool more. It's just more of everything. I can't get enough of this thing. So we'll do one more now. This thing gets up to speed so fast. It's crazy how quick this Supra is. So with that, we're gonna talk about costs right now. So I just got the state inspection. This is only a safety inspection. So the emissions part of it doesn't matter at all right now, given it's just safety. Emissions is gonna be, we're making too much noise. Emissions is of course the OBD2. They're gonna plug that in, make sure all those systems are good. With a proper tune though, all that stuff is turned off anyway, so it would still pass emissions like my GTR does. But with that, I spent 13 bucks for the safety inspection. That just makes sure the lights work, the horns work, your window tint is legal, which my window tint is legal, 35%. But that's all it was for the state inspection, $13. Next year should be the exact same safety inspection only. The year after that, emissions will probably kick in. I believe it's 2 years for every brand new vehicle. I'm sorry I'm acting like a child making all this noise, but I haven't driven this car in a week. I've been out of town for a week, so I haven't driven any of the cars. But seriously, every time I drive the A90 Supra, it is so much fun. I am still blown away with how the tuning has made this thing just turn into a completely different car. It is something else now to drive. It really puts a smile on my face. Gosh, we're gonna tone it down, grow up a little bit. But anyway, we're gonna first talk about warranty, and then we'll get to a spot to stop so I can go over all the numbers. So warranty, modified cars technically are kind of still covered under warranty, but also technically not. That is an iffy subject. Technically, the dealership or manufacturer can't really void a warranty on a manufactured product like a car. The warranty is there for the duration that you bought it at. That's how they work. However, the dealerships can void the warranty if they can prove your parts that are on it, that are aftermarket, have caused the issue. So since my car is tuned, you know, we have more PSI coming through the turbo, more air, more pressure, more everything. The full exhaust is swapped out, no cats, different intake. So obviously there's a lot more going on with what the turbo is doing. So if my turbo blows up, quite honestly, there is no way the dealership is going to uphold the warranty. They're going to void it just because they're going to say the turbo blew because of your tune or because it's straight piped. The lack of the back pressure, given there's no cat, you know, made the turbo spool too quickly in partnership with the tune. So they're going to come up with things like that to void your warranty. If my engine blows up, they'll probably void it as well because they'll look at the car the way it sits right now and say, you know, you're tuned, all this stuff, that's why your engine blew. Now, if my window switches fail, you know, my windows don't roll up and down, that's still covered under warranty. There is no way, shape, or form any of the mods I have done to this car can make that fail. So obviously that would be covered. If my paint starts corroding, that's still covered because obviously a mod cannot affect that. You know, if my headlights fail, seat functions fail, horn fails, stuff like that is always going to be covered under warranty, simply because clearly the modifications have not affected that. So mainly drivetrain warranty is going to be the biggest thing that you're going to run into issues if you have a modified car and something fails. Now, with all that said, if you're actually genuinely concerned about warranties, don't modify your car, because it's probably going to be a headache if something goes wrong. The Supras seem pretty reliable, so knock on cheap plastic doors, there shouldn't be any issues with the car. It should hold up for the few years that I own it, and I shouldn't have a blown engine. These things seem pretty strong. Now, ways around the warranty and your own ethics can determine what you actually do if something has an issue, but if something goes wrong with your car, put it all back to stock, flash it back to the stock ECU, and if the car is still drivable, drive it around for a bit. That way it goes through many start and stop cycles, and that's probably the best way to try to get away with getting your car fixed under warranty if something failed catastrophically when your car was fully modified. I'm not 100% sure if they can still tell that it had been tuned. From what I have learned, it seems like if you flash it back to stock, it's as if the car had a dead battery. So they might look at it like your car has never started up, never shut off, and they'll probably be a little bit sketched out thinking you probably had a tune, flash it back or something. That's why if you can still drive the car, drive it multiple times, start it up, shut it off. That way it goes through many key cycles and it seems like it just had a dead battery or something. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not 100% sure on that. Some dealerships will put on your Carfax or on your VIN that the car is modified. When I worked at a dealership, we bought an M5 that actually had a blown engine. We didn't know it had that. It was an as-is car at the last second when we bought it, and we almost got screwed owning that thing. And on the Carfax it said aftermarket parts installed, warranty void, but we only saw that after we bought it. So something sketchy was going on there. But if that happens on your car, they're gonna already know that your car's voided. So I don't know, warranty's a little iffy with a modified car. Again, if you're worried, just don't modify your car. If you're not too worried, like myself, I mean, if something small goes wrong, I'm just gonna fix it myself anyway, so I'm not a person who cares about warranties. If my engine blows up, I'm gonna do the best I can to bandage it up and see what happens. But that's kind of everything on there. I get so many comments on that. So now I guess we'll pull over somewhere and go over how much it costs to own this car, how much is registration, what's the value of this car, and things like that. All right, so now going over all the costs with the Supra. I've now owned this for just over a year. I have 6,147 miles on it now. I've owned it for, I guess, a year and 2 months at this point, or a year and 1 month. So like you just heard, it was $13 to get the car inspected, safety inspection only, being this is a brand new car. Next up, my safety inspection list passed. That's all you need to know. So insurance real quick, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. So I own 3 vehicles under one policy, my GTR, my Supra, and the Yamaha R6, my motorcycle. So with that, I'm with Geico, and I do get multi-policy discount. It was really cheap to actually add this to the policy. My GTR got lowered a lot. This particular car is $400 every 6 months, so that's $800 a year. On the flip side, the GTR makes up for the rest of what I pay, which is $600 every 6 months. So the GTR is a little bit more expensive than this. This car, the appraised value is $47,000. Yeah. That means I've lost almost $10,000 owning this car. Technically, when I first did the registration, when this was brand new, it appraised for $56,000, which was my window sticker. Now we're at $47,850. Technically, the appraised value doesn't mean your car is actually worth that. My GTR, the appraised value is like 50 grand or 40 something grand. I can still sell that car for almost like 70 grand still. But anyway, so $47,800 is what they're appraising this car out, which is actually pretty realistic. If I were to sell this car, I could probably sell it for like 51, 52. Trade-in would be around 47. So we have my county, my city, and city school. So all that added up is $623. Then we add the $38 registration fee, puts me at $662 for the registration for this car. So that's it for the cost. That's actually nothing crazy to go over. Kind of sucks every year. Got to spend 600 something bucks to keep this thing on the road. But that's it for registration, nothing too crazy. The only thing different, I'm gonna go home and plug this into the computer. When I did the GTR last year, when I plugged the number into the computer, one of the things they're charging me for did not show up. So I ended up paying 200 bucks less than what I thought, because online it just didn't have it, even though the paper one had it. So for anybody getting your registration for your car, double check with the DMV, or I guess the tax office or tag office, whatever it is, and go online and see what it is, because there's a good chance that this might be a little bit cheaper. I'll update that in the description if that does change. But nonetheless, yes, 600 bucks a year for registration, and then 800 bucks a year for insurance. Not too bad to keep this thing on the road. That's it. Maintenance is free because it's a brand new car. 2 years free maintenance from Toyota. It's just an oil change anyway. And that is it. No costs else aside from those for the A90 Toyota Supra. So far it has been proven to be a cheap car to own. Like, it's nothing crazy. The biggest cost is depreciation, not gonna lie. So hopefully I'm gonna continue to get my money's worth out of this car and keep enjoying it and have fun. I am having a lot of fun with it. Comment down below if you guys were shocked that that is the price for the Supra. Not too bad. And with insurance, because I know I get this question a lot, that is full coverage, highest deductible possible. Obviously paying every 6 months helps. Zip code helps, credit score helps. There's so many things that make a difference. I've had some people comment saying they pay like 400 bucks a month on insurance for this car. I wouldn't even buy the car for that much. That's just a ripoff. And one guy said he has a horrible driving record. That's why you guys see us not, going crazy with our cars, not getting all these cop videos that other YouTube channels do. It's because we actually drive pretty reasonable out on the road, and I really enjoy cheap insurance on my 2 expensive cars, because at the end of the day, I love the cars. I want to buy the cars that I want, and I'm not going to be an idiot just because it's cool or whatever, because it's not cool, and I'll enjoy my cheap insurance. And you can still have fun with your sports car without, breaking the law, which is a good thing. So we'll finish up with one last acceleration and then wrap it up. The Supra is such a beast. Oh man. Anyways, that is it for today's video, going over some costs for the Supra a year later, along with my thoughts on the warranty with a modified car. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.